Peace to the tribes. Peace to the tribes, man. Max Ahab to the Creator. That is the breath, the great spirit, Halahawa. MHOE. Special Ahab and Max Ahab to all the MHOEs out there. We can never say MHOE without 5 eyes. Ma. So Ahab to the bro, Ahab to the tribe. That is you. 432. Drop Nation. To all the truth seekers. To all the star seeds. To the indigo children. To the Naga serpents. To the Dracons. To the rare breeds. Special Ahab to you. Max love to the Creator for allowing us to come and join again once again for another wonderful build. This is in dedication, special dedication to our loved one. They requested that we go ahead and bust down his chart, man. And normally something like this I wouldn't do, but this is for our loved one. We're gonna go ahead and honor them since it was an honor that they requested this specifically. And we're gonna surf the wave. So Max Ahab, to you for choosing up and deciding to join us on this ether bus. I hope your energy is up. I hope you charged up. We're gonna get comfy and jump straight into it. Let's go. See, you are just a microcosm of the macrocosm. And you being the microcosm of the macrocosm makes you the universe personified. It makes you the elements, the stardust personified. It makes you the sun personified, my niggas. This is for the energy. So you being the microcosm makes you the universe personified. I am a universe inside a universe inside a universe inside a universe. Ahab to the real ones, man. We just talking you. Alright? Keep this in mind because this is a great example. This would be you in the flesh. You right now in corporeal form. And this is your higher self. Alright, remember this. This would be your higher self. You are a universe inside of a universe. Hawa, Hawa. Let's carry on. See, you are the universe expressing itself as a human for a little while. You are the universe expressing itself. We're just surfing the wave. Ignorance is always afraid to change. It's alright because, this is the age of so-called information, right? So if you're not trying to take advantage to enlighten yourself, to shed yourself of the ignorance, well, you obviously just don't want to keep up. And that's cool. That's not meant for everyone. Ahab to the ones choosing up. This is our disclaimer. before you go any further, you've been warned. Alright. We're just talking the source, right? Believed to exist in large quantities, it enters into many theories of the origin of the universe. This dark matter, this dark material, this dark mother. Mother, mather, same word. Alright. Ahab to the dark. So that was your disclaimer. We're gonna go ahead and jump into it. Peace to the real ones. So being that you are the universe personified, you are the very thread, the very line, the very bridge, the proof, the missing link between the earth and the celestial bodies. You are the charge, and the charge is you. We're just talking connectivity to the frequency. We're just showing how you are the universe personified. The natural fiber optic. Special Ahab to you, my nigga. Let's surf the wave. So as you can see, this is Know Thyself 101. Know Thyself 101. Alright? And we're going to be building on a particular energy, since this chart was given to me by a particular loved one of ours. So we're just going to surf the wave. It's imperative and it's important that you know, though, with these different zodiacs, all the zodiacs can be seen as energy centers or centers of energies. No different than these center of energies right here, known as the chakras, all right, or your chi or ki. Okay, we're talking ki as in the earth, right? The earth, ki. Okay, so these are energy centers, and just like your chakras, your zodiac signs come in layers. Okay, so if you can imagine each plane being a layer, or like a layer to a cake, right? Each plane, or what they're going to refer to as so-called planets, are energy centers of the same color, if you can imagine such, right? And this is all just influence and just magnifying points of energy within the body, within us. Okay, so if you can just imagine like a cake having many layers, and each layer of that cake represents something and has its function. I want you to then take that cake and put that cake in a blender, and we're going to blend that cake in its layers and mash it all together. Okay, mash it all together. And when we do that, this is how we get the soup, the ingredients that make you the individual with all of these zodiac signs attached. All right, because you're not just one version of a zodiac, you are many, and we have many attached to us, and that's what these readings are for. So as you can see, we got the 7 levels, or the 7 planes, all right, the 7 layers, and I just want you to pay attention to that. All right, here we're building on you. Now, we just got done looking at the 7 planes. As you can see right here, this breaks down into the 7 bodies straight away. We have the physical body, we have the etheric body, we have the astral body, we have the lower mental body. All of these are our elemental vehicles. And we'll be breaking down the elements within this too. Okay, keep in mind we just looked at the 7 bodies, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Alright. So the 7 bases, 7 bodies, 7 energy points, and we have more than 7, of course. But these are the easiest accessed, alright, within the body. Now, as we take this up, and we're talking about ascension or ascendancy, okay? Ascension or ascendancy. That means the rising, the calm, the quom, going up. We're talking about the casual body, which is a higher mental vehicle. We were talking about your Merkabas, the last presentation, right? Now you see, going all the way up, we get to the higher self. Okay, and through this higher self, we can access the solar angel. The solar angel being your Dracons, your so-called guardian angels. Right? Keep in mind, the solar angel is connected within you. You see the solar plexus, the wisdom and the power. You see what's going on? The solar plexus, the wisdom and the power. You can activate your solar Dracon, your dragon, your guardian angel from within, the higher self. Keep in mind, I told you to keep that picture in mind, right? So let's get it back. Now you see how this is the normal you, right? The microcosm. This is the micro universe. And this is the higher self. All right? This is your higher self. So as we see and get back to this is the higher self. You see what's going on? So we use the Merkaba, the ascension vehicle, the elemental vehicle, to get there. All right? And that higher self is your giants. That is your giants. That's what it refers to as the giants. Your giants are your higher selves, the bigger you, to see the bigger picture, that which is beyond just the earth. All right? And then the solar logos, as we'll see, is just the avatar. All right? The solar logos being the avatar. And we'll touch all that coming up. Keep in mind logos and avatar. And a logo is just a master, an ascended master incarnating, being born into the earth physically. All right, as an ascended master, one that's basically achieved all of the esoteric, occultic learnings and have come back to share it. That's what an avatar is. All your Buddhas, your the so-called hijack, JC, all of that deals with logos and avatars. I'm gonna go ahead and continue. All right. So as we can see, the idea isn't foreign to our indigenous truth. The idea is not brand new to our indigenous truth, showing that the ancestors, the ancient ones, was actually tapped in. All right, they actually was building on this frequency right here. So as you see, I just want you to visualize a wheel, because as we see this as a wheel, and as we look at it as such, we get to recognize Ezekiel's wheel, which is the wheel within the wheel. And if you've been, freshening up on your Merkaba, your Merkaba is a wheel within the wheel too. All right, your two tetrahedrons coming into each other to give you new dimensions, new space, to create that movement that allows certain movement to flow. All right? I just want you to get the will in mind, because we're just talking about the wills. So AI to that, we're going to continue on. So when everything's in alignment, when everything's lined up, when those energy centers are on hit and they pop off, it opens you up to that matrix. All right, it opens you up to that channel, to that sequencing. You know, and as you can see, there's even little matrix-like coding up in here. All right, but this is how you get to that realm. You activate your Merkaba and get your challenge on. All right, we're just talking about you, my nigga. No doubt. All right, moving along. All right, so if you look at number one is a headband, right? And we're talking about it having the meaning of a pure lineage and propriety, a pure ancestor and propriety. Okay, number two is a green pictorial from Tikal, Guatemala. You know, we're talking indigenous truth. This version is saying the habitation is pure. The lineage has propriety, a pure habitation. All right, you see what's going on? All right, here we have number three. Number three's meaning has a breakdown of the great ancestor. He works like a talisman indeed. He is like a rising star. Interesting how they say that, right? He is like a rising star. At this moment, he exists in parity to a talisman. So we're talking about the great ancestor. The great ancestor who is seen as a rising star. All right, we just talking stars on you right now. Here we have number four. Let me get this. It won't go up no more. All right. Here we have number four. The soul is sanctified, holy. It is the greatest ancestor. All right. This is number four. I'm just surfing the wave. This is all about orientation, my nigga. Making sure that you are planted exactly where you need to be. Making sure that you are flowing exactly where you need to be. Making sure that you are surfing exactly the way you need to be. And to make sure you're spiraling up, firing up, blazing up the way you should be. Alright, so hopefully your charge, your frequency is on point, because we're ready to kick off into the next one and see where it is that we're going. Peace to the real ones. We're gonna jump in our little vehicle of ascension. That is our Merkaba. We're gonna take a little trip to the stars and get a little glimpse. Figure out what's going on. So, hey, how to everybody surfing the wave. Hope you charged up. And let's get it. So I know I originally had planned to spark this off in the morning, in the AM, but I wasn't able to. All right, so we get into it right now. Shalom. So I just want to highlight a quick couple of things, just skim over the basics. I know people say don't mix up astrology with astronomy. I'm only doing a breakdown on astronomy because this is where astrology came from. All right. Although they're kind of separated now, originally, in original context, astrology was attached, or it meant astronomy. And astronomy is a natural science that studies celestial objects and the phenomena that occur in the cosmos. It uses mathematics, physics, and chemistry in order to explain their origin and their overall evolution. Objects of interest include planets, moons, stars, nebulae, galaxies, meteoroids, asteroids, and comets, which are your dracons, your cometas, you know what I'm saying? Relevant phenomenon include supernova explosions, gamma ray bursts, quasars, blazars, pulsars, and cosmic microwave background radiation. More generally, astronomy studies everything that originates beyond Earth's atmosphere. Cosmology is a branch of astronomy that studies the universe as a whole. It says astronomy is one of the oldest natural sciences. The early civilizations in recorded history made methodical observations of the night sky. These include the Egyptians, Babylonians, Greeks, Indians, Chinese, Maya, and many ancient indigenous peoples of the Americas. In the past, astronomy included disciplines and diverse as astrometry, celestial navigation, observational astronomy, and the making of calendars. Alright, so as you see right here, we got it right that your ancestors were no stranger to the function. And considering that we're talking the early civilizations, you know, the ancient ones, we know that this is in the timing of the Zet Tepi, which is why we speak on such a flow. Furthermore, as I bring you down to the etymology, right, the etymology says that astronomy means star, law, or culture, or it means the law of the stars. All right, and this is what we're digging on. We're digging on the law of the stars. So that's what we brought you here for. We're going to continue surfing the wave. So as we made mention earlier, all the signs are divided into 4 elements, 3 for each, a total of 12 signs, a total of 12 energy centers. All right, and which each element, we have a season. Okay, so each element is attributed to a season, and they have a term or a time when this goes into play, but it's all mixed up. Okay, it's all mixed up. As you can see, I wanted you to again keep the image of a wheel in mind. And so since we're starting off with Pisces, and this is the energy we will be focusing on because our loved one happens to be a Pisces, we're going to start off with the water element. All right, so as we see, we have Pisces, Scorpio, and Cancer, and these 3 signs make up our water element within the zodiac. So that means the 3 of these have similarities, and they have things in common, and they might be able to pick up on each other's energies, or be able to at least relate in a sense to where each one is coming from. Water also tends to be a representation of emotion and spirituality. So these signs are said to be your most emotional or your most spiritual, and they have the capability of accessing to that realm. Below water, we have the air, and And the three signs that make up the air are Libra, Aquarius, and Gemini. All right, and this is the air element of the zodiac within the energy centers. Okay, and air signs tend to be more of the intellectual, things of the mind, communication, and basically moving around, staying free-flowing, just like the air. Next to that, we have fire and the three signs that come together to make the fire. And those three signs are Sagittarius, Leo, and Aries. All right, and these three, again, have similarities within each other, just like air, just like water, that are similar. Different vibes, different frequencies throughout the year to spread that element. All right, so you have these elements, these signs placed randomly throughout, or not randomly, but they're placed, in a certain audience to keep the elements, to keep the energies within the flow. Okay, and fire elements are known for being bold, for being aggressive, for being fierce, not afraid to express themselves, to go after what they want. They're very exciting, and they just tend to lighten and brighten up the room, and as soon as they walk in, you kind of notice just who these people are. Okay, last but not least, we have the earth, and the three signs that make the earth are Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn. So Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn are earth elements, and what they do is they stay grounded. If you can imagine the ground, right, and everything that's deep within the ground, they like to stay grounded to earth. These are your down to earth type people. They're down to earth, very cool, very easy to talk to, very easy to spread vibes with, and they're about the physical, the physical body, the 3D material body. So in a sense, they can be a bit materialistic because they focus on the material. They are the material world. They too can be quite spiritual because they're able to dig deep within themselves, within the body, to access their emotions, their power. So, they too can often be spiritual people. All the elements are spiritual people. But when we're talking about the depth and the deepness and how, that is accessed, water being the deepest and earth having a similar depth to it. Okay, keep that in mind as we continue. All right, so here we have another one, and in this one it's more like a wheel, right? We have more of that oscillation going on within the elements. And straight off the bat, let's look at this air. All right, so we have Aquarius to Gemini, Gemini down to Libra, Libra then back up to Aquarius. All right, and this is the air signs constituting this. Then up top, we have Aries down to Sagittarius, across to Leo, then Leo right back up to Aries. And then from this, we already have our Merkaba. All right, we have our Merkaba right there. We're going to jump to Pisces at the tip top, shoot Pisces down to Scorpio, Scorpio over to Cancer, Cancer back out to Pisces, right? And that's our water signs, our water elements. And then we have Earth. We're going to shoot Taurus out to Capricorn, Capricorn down to Virgo, Virgo back up to Taurus. And this is the Earth. So as you can see where the colors intersect and cross over into one another, kind of see this as the blending, all right, of the zodiac. And where they interconnect, this is how it's going to pop out on your chart, and you'll be able to see it as such. So this is why it's a blend of layers. We have layers, but those layers are blended, okay, basically making you unique to a degree that no one really has your same exact placements in all of the housings. Just so we get that clear. All right, and within these elements and these signs come explanations and vibes, frequencies, and energies that are attributed to them. So as we have for the fire, for Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius, these are fire signs. They can be inspirational, they can be confident, they normally try to take control, they're enthusiastic, active, fun, excited, explorers, and trailblazers. Okay, fire is a very rapid moving type of energy. Okay, just the same way fire would be, right? Always on the go, attaches itself to anything that it feels necessary to, not afraid to just pop out and show niggas. All right, fire. Earth, we have your three signs of Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn. And with this right here, we have the earth signs, which represents the physical, the practical, the rocks, the stability, the live in the here and now type people. Very goal oriented, very patient, works hard for success, one step at a time, sometimes rigid or materialistic. As we said, why, right? As far as earth signs go, they are attached to the earth. They like to remain grounded. You know, they burrow in that to which keeps them close, you know, centered. Here we have the air signs, and the three air signs being Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius. And they represent the mental, the social, analytical, fluctuating needs to share their thoughts with the world. They are often writers, teachers, philosophers, intellectually stimulating. So like the air, they're constantly on the go, which means they're constantly needing that stimulation. They're constantly needing to spread what's on their mind as far as what stimulates them. They need the excitement. They don't like anything dull. They don't like to be pinned down or held down or under pressure. Okay, that's air. Water, as we have the three water signs being Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces. So special aha to the Pisces, because this is the energy we're going to be building in today. Aha for the Pisces, and to all the Pisces out there surfing the wave. Again, this is the water element, and they represent your intuitive, your artsy, those that most are in touch with their psychic abilities. They are natural nurturers, empathetic, passionately emotional, deep feelings, self-protected, addictive personalities, and very private. And a lot of people see water signs as emotional. And depending on what water sign you are, you can, you know, depending on who you are, come off across like that. But it's mainly because these are deep spiritual people, and being an empath means you pick up and you're sensitive to other people's vibes. So being a sensitive type of sign doesn't necessarily make you weak or soft, even though sometimes they can be viewed as that. And if you're not working on the best version of yourself, you can kind of be seen as a crybaby or someone that kind of kills the vibe when you're in this down thought. All right, but you know, nonetheless, they are the most spiritually connected of the zodiac, these three signs, and they have a richness and a deepness and just an overall looming in that realm. Okay, that's kind of what they do. So now that we're talking about the elements and the signs that the elements belong to, we can now go ahead and bring your attention to the last airbender. And it doesn't matter which version you're rocking with, I like them both. But as you can see, the last airbender, he was of the air tribe, right? Of the air element. And he ends up running away due to his uncomfortability and insecurity of being an avatar, and you know, he ends up freezing himself in the ocean for 100 years. As you can see up top, they're advertising master your element. So this is what an avatar is, right? An avatar is that solar logo that we were talking about. It is the ascended master that knows how to master and control all the elements to express it in the art form in harmony, to prove evolution, to prove peace, and to bring it and gel it all together while continuing. And due to his absence, due to him being frozen, for the last 100 years, the Fire Nation was able to oppress the rest of the elements, the rest of the benders, and force their will. And this is sort of like what fire does, right? Fire burns, so it pushes you out the way. You can't necessarily combat fire unless you're water. And their oppression grew so strong in the absence of the Avatar, him being the last airbender. There's no more airbenders in the tribe, all right, on the earth. He's the last one, and because he's the last one, and because he was frozen for 100 years, he never fully got to master fire elements, water, or earth. He was just stuck, frozen in a sense, right? At air. He was just frozen at air. But him being the last airbender is the proof that he is the Avatar, because there are no more airbenders thanks to the Fire Nation. Alright, so when you surfing the wave with that, this is where they get the inspiration for such drop. Alright, it's from the zodiac that we're talking about. And now that you see the wheel, I kind of set you up so that you can have in mind a clock, right? And for each house, there's a doorway or an entrance or a stargate or a portal. For each house represents a portal. And it's the same when it comes to Hawa Code, right? When we're talking about Hawa Code, the 12 tribes, well, we have 12 hours in the day and 12 zodiac signs for a reason, all right? And within these 12 is a continuation of a cycle. And this cycle represents anything like a watch or the wheel within the wheel. Okay, so for each house, channel, or stargate, you have a zodiac that can focus its energy in. And this is how you have to read your chart. It is a blending of all the zodiacs to help you evolve, to help you mature, to help you become your higher self. And this is why it's referred to as knowing thyself. You get to know thyself. So we're going to take a further breakdown into what the houses represent and what they are. And keep in mind, we're just talking about the 12 tribes, your 12 tribes of Hawako, your 12 energy points. All right. So much Ahab. Let's get it. All right. So we have in astrology, houses are a fundamental component of the birth chart that represents different areas of life. The 12 houses, there are 12 houses, each associated with a specific zodiac sign and planetary ruler. The first house represents the self, while the second house relates to personal possessions and finances. The third house pertains to communication and siblings, while the fourth house represents home and family. The fifth house is associated with creativity and romance, while the sixth house relates to work and health. The seventh house represents partnerships and marriage, while the eighth house pertains to shared resources and transformation. The ninth house is associated with higher education and travel. Now, it's pretty interesting that they said the ninth house, right? When we're talking about the nine. The ninth house is associated with higher education and travel. Very interesting. He's talking, he won't let me get that L. He's talking about you, right? The nine. While the 10th house represents career and public image, the 11th house pertains to social networks and friendships, while the 12th house represents spirituality and subconscious patterns. Understanding the houses in astrology can provide insight into various aspects of a person's life and personality. All right, and as you can see, the different aspects or angles are arranged in the different houses. All right, so let's go ahead and see what our loved one is working with, and let's see what it is that they got to build on. Ahab. So each planet rules a zodiac, or each celestial body, being like sun and moon, have their influence on each zodiac. All right. And as we can see, the sun in your zodiac is about yourself. So whenever you have the sun, so for this one, our loved one is a Pisces sun. Their sun is in Pisces. So your Pisces sign, your Pisces sun is about yourself. It's about who you are, right? Your moon is your heart, or how you feel, your emotions. Your rising is how you look, or how you present yourself to the world, how the world sees you. Your Mercury is the way that you think, or the way that you communicate, how you take in information. Your Venus is how you love, how you show love, the way you begin to find a love for things, all right, how you express that. And then your Mars is how you deal with life. It's the physical side to life. It's the motivation in life. It's what gets you going. It's sort of like the battery in your back. That's what Mars is. So see, as our loved one is a Pisces, Pisces are the most physically connected sign in the zodiac. Pisces people tend to have a telepathic connection with the universe. The visualizations are filled with color and beauty. Pisces are known to be very dreamy. They dream. They have big imaginations. And it's always within the imagination that you can kind of tap into the supernatural. And then tapping into the supernatural, well, that leads them off into the spiritual realm. All right. So Pisces are definitely knocking at that door. They are the most connected sign in the zodiac. All right, and we'll see as to why. So this is our loved one's natal chart, their birth chart. This is how their aspects and angles look according to each house and sign. And we're going to continue to surf the wave. Alright, so just want to let you know that I'll be breaking down the ascendant sign, the sun sign, the ascendant sign being Aries. So our loved one's ascendant sign or rising is in Aries. Their sun is a Pisces, their moon is in Aquarius, their Mercury is in Pisces, their Venus is in Aquarius, their Mars is in Gemini, their Jupiter is in Pisces. Their Saturn is in Gemini. Their Uranus is in Libra. The Neptune is in Sagittarius. Their Pluto is in Libra. Their Lilith, dark side of the moon, is in Capricorn. And their North Node is Sagittarius. So we're just going to focus on these. All right. Now that you know what the houses are and what they represent, you can go ahead and, if you're watching this loved one, you can go ahead and place these accordingly into your houses. Okay. And, try to connect those or even look those up on the side. I'm going to give you a preview of how. But because we have so much to cover, so much to condense, I just want to get to it so that we don't, drag this out. So like I said, our loved one is a Pisces. Their sun sign is a Pisces. So that means their overall personality and energy is going to be wrapped up in this Piscean energy. So once again, much Max Ahab to all the Pisces surfing the wave. If you happen to be a Pisces or if you have Pisces in your chart at all, this little aspect of it is for you. Alright, so as the 12th and last of the zodiac, last sign of the zodiac, Pisces contains within itself a little experience of all the signs. And this is why Pisces is the most connected, because Pisces is the last zodiac sign. So in order to reach Pisces, you have to go through all of them, right? You have to go through all the signs to finally get to Pisces. So Pisces has a little bit of every sign already in itself. This gives Pisces sun the ability to identify with people from all walks of life, from all backgrounds in some way. These individuals are not only changeable and adaptable, they have open minds and tremendous understanding. But Pisces itself is often misunderstood. Pisces sun may spend a good portion of their lives yearning for understanding, and on the other part in a state of divine discontent. Suffering is sometimes glamorized in the Piscean world. Sun and Pisces people are frequently pegged as wishy-washy, but this is all a matter of opinion. What you will find behind a vaguely directionless, spacey manner is a deep person with real dreams. Pisces are tuned into a higher purpose, and their dreams transcend the individual. A deep love for humanity and compassion that knows no bounds, and are fond with the placement of the sun. So, they're big dreamers, man. Highly active imaginations. And it's within the imagination that you can really pull to manifest, right? You pull from those hidden dimensions, those hidden pockets of source to go ahead and project into 3D realm. Pisces are very, very great at doing that, and as the water sign, or as a water sign, they are the most in depth in that spiritual aspect. All right. Pisceans are not known to be cutthroat business types, nor are they given to throwing themselves out into the world aggressively. But make no mistake, Pisces can be extraordinarily successful when given a chance to express themselves. The arts, marketing, music, teaching, drama, and healing arts are all fields in which Pisces can find expression. Their imagination, attunement to humanity, and remarkable intuition endow them with inviolable gifts of insight and creativity. Pisces is a sensitive sign, both sensitive to criticism and sensitive to others' feelings. Easily touched by human suffering, at least in theory, Pisces wouldn't hurt a fly. They believe in people and are deeply hurt by compassionless, human behavior, and have difficulty saying no. So, as a so-called Gemini, I've had, few interactions with Pisces, and for the most part, they're really low key. They're really ducked off to themselves, and have a certain flow, and they know a lot about what it is that they're passionate about. And although they're not rowdy, they're not the type to really be a fighter kind of people. They are normally surrounded by so many people that actually have genuine love for them and who actually appreciate who they are, that I wouldn't be surprised that the people that Pisces has around them wouldn't tee off on you before they actually did so. As soon as a Pisces is mad, especially around their loved ones, it's almost immediately like someone's gonna know. And I'm pretty sure you're not gonna just get Pisces, you're gonna get everyone that comes with Pisces. They're also real in depth, so me being an air sign, I like to bring my level of intellect, my insight over to them to help them connect certain dots, right? That they're kind of, let's say, down about. I like to raise them up, bring the best energy to them, lift them up. That's what I take pride in, lifting people up, as an air sign, lifting you up, bringing you up to your greatest, you. And then at that same time, since Pisces is so deep, it's actually a favor for me to go into their deepness, to go into their depth, to get a greater sense of reasoning or a greater sense of insight to expand and grow that insight. So with that being said, all Ahab, max Ahab to the Pisces, and we're gonna jump off, man. We're gonna get this started. Let's go. All right, everyone. So I'm going to try to go through these as quick as possible to get a quick summary because a natal chart can be so in depth and there's so many facets to it. It can be quite long. So, this was a special presentation. Ahab out to our loved one. Yeah, man, if you would like me to go ahead and do something like this for you, reach out to me. So I can set that up. We can get that established. It probably won't be this in depth anymore, since now this is pretty much like, the explanation, us jumping into this. The rest of them should be, a bit more condensed, a bit shorter. But, I'm also a student. I like to learn. I like to tap into different personalities. I'm an antisocial extrovert, as, we've heard, Dot say. And with that, I like to, study and just take in the influence of other people. But at the same time, I can be very to myself and just observe. So we're going to go ahead and get, a mix and match of just different insights and try to collect as much as we can before, my memory shuts down. And hopefully it's enjoyable, So let's get it.
Hey you guys, what's up? This is Morgan from Morgan Led Insights, and we are here today to talk about the Pisces sun. So if you guys aren't subscribed to the channel, go ahead and subscribe. I post all types of videos, so yeah. And read the description because there's going to be like links to the website and stuff like that in there as well. So Pisces sun sign. So the Pisces sun sign is going to be born between February 19th and March 20th. Sun signs are going to represent what you are achieving to become, like what you are aspiring to be. These are traits that are familiar to you, but you really need to develop and contextualize them and really embrace them in your personality, because just because you are, for instance, a Pisces sun sign does not mean that you are a Pisces rising sign. And so your rising sign is going to dictate how your natal chart is constructed. It's called a Placidus. It's going to tell you where your first house starts, where your second house starts, what sign your first house might be in. Like my first house is like Libra, Scorpio, and it's weird. Like it's really weird. So you need to really make sure that, yes, this is a great video for you to watch if you are a Pisces sun sign, but if you're a different rising sign, those videos will be coming soon. So Pisces sun signs are the last zodiac,
and all she's saying is that, for like our loved one, their ascendant or their rising sign is in Aries. So although they're a Pisces, how they come off or how people see them, or, the energy that they act in, personally, that they magnify in, how they look or come across is as an Aries. So that's going to be an interesting, combination, as we'll get to.
Astrological sign in the 12-wheel zodiac. So just like Aries is about beginning again, starting, pioneering, putting an idea just out there, right? Pisces is the conclusion. It's the evaluation. It's the introspection of that idea after it's gone through the first 11 chapters. So Pisces are generally noted as old souls. Those are the individuals that people say are very wise and psychic and intuitive. And partly is that because they're a water sign, and all water signs have this very receptive, intuitive fluidity, understanding the inside, the internal mechanisms, the emotional aspects of the human condition. So Pisces, though, is very eclectic in that sense because it represents the last culmination of the human process. And so Pisces is very much attributed to the other world, the spirit world, the mystical world. And this is dealing with Pisces planetary ruler, which is Neptune. Neptune is Pisces planetary ruler. Neptune is the ancient god of the seas. When we think about Neptune, we think about romance and illusion and mysticism and wonder and daydreaming and spirituality, all of the unseen, hidden things behind the material world, right? So anything that is non-physical is going to really be attributed to Neptune, especially if it's in a universal, magical, spiritual, however you want to talk about metaphysics, right? Because we're talking about the same thing. However you want to describe that is what Neptune is going to be attributed to, and that's Pisces planetary ruler. So your Pisces sun is going to not only be very intuitive, not only going to be receptive, but it's going to be very impressionable. Pisces is a mutable sign, and out of all of these zodiac signs, Pisces is probably the most gullible, like the most gullible, the most easy, influential. Like, they are always being manipulated, and it's because they have this pure heart. Pisces is here to give. Pisces is really representing sacrifice in a lot of ways, right? Because we are coming into the spiritual realm. So Pisces has a hard time because they are so much in the hidden world, the spiritual realm, that sometimes it's very hard for them to even put their feet on the earthly planes. Like, they are physically not here. Pisces has a hard time accepting that it has a body, right? So that can be seen and played out in multiple ways. Like, Pisces are very hard workers, but they have a hard time keeping a job. Pisces are very intuitive, but they're also very naive, right? And so there is this element of balance, right? And that comes into the Pisces glyph, its symbol, figurine, whatever the hell you want to call it, right? The symbol of Pisces is two fish, but these two fish are not just swimming side by side, they're connected. These two fish are tied together, but they're swimming in opposite directions. And so Pisces is very emotional, right? All water signs are. They're extremely temperamental. One minute they're like, oh yes, I love dogs, and the next minute they're like, fuck dogs, they're evil, da 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 da. Like, they're very polarized, right? And that can be a really positive thing. Hold on, I'll make sure we're still recording. We are. And that can be a really positive thing because it gives Pisces this ability to see all aspects of a situation. But because they're always fluctuating, and because they're so empathetic and very intuitive, that they pick up on a lot of people's energy. And so that ability to fluctuate is sometimes most likely seen in a negative sense until Pisces really learns how to develop and mature its sun sign traits.
And that's what the whole purpose is, right? To go ahead and basically master these elements that are within you. A lot of people say that these energies are base energy and animalistic energy, which would make a lot of sense. So when you do your actual root work, when you trying to be the better you have to master these elements that you're placed in to be the avatar, which is the 13th zodiac. You're trying to be the 13th zodiac. All right. And by being the 13th zodiac, you have to be all 12 embodied.
Ability to fluctuate is sometimes most likely seen in a negative sense until Pisces really learns how to develop and mature its sun sign traits and use empathy to create boundaries and to teach people in a healthy way that we can be spiritual and still be present in a body. And so that is Pisces' lifelong mission, is to become grounded in a physical body but still create this inevitable connection to the divine. Pisces is also ruled by the feet, and so I keep talking about planting feet, and that's one thing that Pisces really should implement, especially Pisces sun signs, is using your feet as some form of grounding ritual, whether that be dance, whether that be stomping your feet, walking through the beach, walking through the earth. Like, Pisces needs to continuously use its feet as a connecting source to really ground itself. That's really important. Relationship wise, Pisces are very, very, very romantic. They are ruled by yin, which means it has a feminine polarity to it. And so when we talk about feminine planetary aspects, astrology aspects, we're thinking about earth and water signs. But Pisces specifically is a very romantic person. They want the fairy tale. They want the fairy tale romance. They want the fairy tale love affair. They want everything to be perfect. They have this idea of what life should be like, and everything that Pisces experience goes through this lens of what they had in their head. And that can be detrimental to relationships because Pisces is very, again, impressionable, which gives Pisces a power once it develops this trait because it takes its likability, right? Pisces are innocent, they're sweet, and they really use it as a power force. And Pisces has the universe on its side. When it really gets into this place of understanding how to attain all that it has been given, it really does really does birth really magnificent things that are out of the ordinary. You would never expect, and it comes from Pisces' ability to see what other people do not see. But in relationships, it's really important that Pisces sees their partner for who they are. They tend to gravitate towards people who need to be saved, people who need to be loved. They tend to gravitate towards really broken people. And again, that's because Pisces wants to heal. It wants to give. It wants to show everyone how special and beautiful life can be. But that can be really traumatizing to a Pisces because Pisces is very easily off-kiltered. It's like Libra. They're like the 2 in Cancer. They're just like everywhere, dude. So it's really important that the Pisces sun sign picks a partner that is established. And when I say established, it's not just financially, which it should be, because Pisces.
It's very interesting because I think earlier she was mentioning how the Pisces go in 2 different directions due to them being fish, right? And I kind of saw that as something that was relatable because as a Gemini, it's like the 2 sides of the twin, right? So this is why I'm always referring to we, because I'm constantly talking about the twin within me. So I know I'm never alone, you know, because there's another one right next to me, you know what I'm saying? So I'm able to see 2 sides of the coin. And same thing with Libras, I guess. Libras are the scales, so they're the balance of the zodiac, right? And they're able to weigh 2 things at a time to test this fairness. You know, they're always seeking what's fair in life. And it can also be a balance as far as wings go, right? Wings. So the Libra represents the wings or the scales. And, with that being said, I feel like Libras are able to see the twins at the same time, right? One twin's going left, other twin's going right, and Libra can see them move in both directions at the same time. But as a Gemini, being in touch with that twin, right, that other side keeps us youthful. It keeps us, you know, young at heart. And, you know, I guess maybe to that I can relate to the Pisces in that aspect. I thought it was interesting. She also says something about the fish representing a sacrificial element, which is what I was, you know, referring to in the first place, as far as, you know, Pisces being a fish. When we're talking about the last airbender, the fact that, you know, Pisces is a fish, and in either version of the last airbender, the water nation actually had a connection. They actually knew that the moon god, the moon entity, was housed in this fish. And again, we're talking about the water nation. They were a tribe of emotion, right? They're able to bend water, so that gives them the spiritual relevance, you know. So with them being the spiritual aspect, the fish housed or embodied the moon spirit, and this was something sacred for them. They protected that moon spirit. They protected that fish. Well, relaying that back to Pisces, okay, it being the spiritual, real in-depth, you know, zodiac sign. And then keep in mind that once the Fire Nation found out where the fish was and their plans and what they had intended to do to further their agenda, you know, all of these things, you know, come up, right? Which is why that movie to me is such a great movie. It's a mind blasting situation because it's the embodiment of all these different facets, all these different aspects to make a great film, or the idea of it at least. And, you know, keep in mind that sacrificial period she was talking about, again, this hijack that they put on JC, you know, even with the Buddha, whoever, Krishna, all these different avatars, they're all avatars, right? the accumulation of, ascendant mastery. So it's crazy how she was talking about that sacrificial energy that Pisces carries when, this hijack was supposedly sacrificed, right? Sacrificed. And then when you look at the so-called miracle, the taking the 2 fish to making a multitude, right? We're talking about the age of Pisces. Even when we're talking about his symbol, right? The symbol that's always attached to him is a fish. So that's actually in reference to the age of Pisces, which would be in that time period. The thing that was meant to be going down in that time period, it was the age of Pisces. Even when we go back to Moshe, when we're connecting Moshe was dealing with, Baal and Baal and the bull and the golden calf. What is that representing? We're talking about the year of Taurus, right? Which is the bull. So that was the age. The age of Taurus. We're talking about the age of Taurus, which is the bull. Even with Abraham, when you go back to Abraham and the ram within the name, Abraham was supposed to be in the age of the ram, which is the age of Aries. So all of these are, little hidden Easter eggs, little nuggets of the constellations and how, they do provide a sense of reading for us when we're applying it back to the Bible. Because keep in mind that the Helios Biblios is what? The book of the sun, or the sun book. That's what it's called, the book of the sun. So we're talking what? Astrology, in a sense, astronomy. All right, to the real ones. All right, so we had to go ahead and move on to the next one. I don't know when my time is going to run out, so I want to get as many as we can. Like I said, I want to, highlight the major planets and the rising sign. So our loved ones' rising sign. And again, shout out to all the Pisces, right? Because we was building on that sun in Pisces, saw the Pisces surfing the wave. But this is about Aries rising. So if this is your placement, if your ascendant sign is Aries, we're going to go ahead and take a dig into that. Our loved one has an Aries rising. So as a Pisces, they have an Aries rising, which is a bit of a trip, because although Pisces overall can be seen as shy and reserved and private, being an Aries ascendant kind of makes you more open to sharing your ideas. You're more quick with it. You're more open to communicating and sharing that thought, especially if you're charged up and you're with the right ones, and they help you and make you feel comfortable in doing so. It's kind of like the opposite personality that Pisces is known for. So let's see what we can get out of this mix. Hey,
When I saw this shirt sitting in my closet, I was like, you're the one. You are the shirt for Aries season. Hola, my beautiful lotus flowers. Welcome back or welcome to my channel. If you're into nerding out on everything astrology, spirituality, and self-transformation, this is the community for you. Today we're talking all about the Aries rising, aka Aries ascendant sign. And if you're not quite sure what the rising sign is, it's your first time searching for it, refer back to this video where I talk more specifically about the rising sign alone, and then come back and watch this if you're an Aries rising. For a brief summary, the rising sign is where the sun was rising over the eastern horizon at the time that you were born. And it tells us a lot about the way that we express ourselves physically, outwardly, in the physical world, and how we try to present ourselves in the physical realm. Whereas your sun sign is more of your egotistical nature and who you are, and then your moon sign has a lot to do with your deeper nature and what a lot of people don't see and how you kind of handle your emotions as well. We'll start the video by talking about some general traits of an Aries rising that are really important to note, and then we'll continue to talk about some difficulties that an Aries rising placement may have in life, and then some strengths they may have in life as well. And we'll finish off with a few celebrity examples of Aries rising and how they display the traits that we talked about. So be sure to stay tuned for that. First,
Looking for the perfect peak? Find it on
Man,
BeatStars.
let's go.
With a diverse selection of tracks, the perfect.
We'll start by talking about some general traits of Aries rising. The number one thing to know is that Aries is the cardinal fire sign ruled by Mars, symbolized by the ram. Being ruled by Mars, this rising sign often exudes a fearless, potentially intimidating, yet extremely passionate demeanor. And if you're not quite sure, Mars is actually the planet of aggression, passion, and ambition, and tells us a lot about the way that we carry ourselves when it comes to those traits. So an Aries rising will display this Mars energy by being the type of courageous individual that goes after what they want with no questions asked. This energy can often come off as a bit intimidating to people who are first meeting an Aries rising, and the Aries rising may also come off a bit aggressive and assertive to people who don't know them very well. And the Aries rising individual may think that they're just like being nice or whatever, but it can easily come off wrong to other people because they just have a natural Mars, ambitious, very like dominant type energy in everything that they do. And this can cause them to have a very straightforward attitude towards others. They're very honest, they're very authentic, and very true to what they believe, and they are ready for anything. Second, Aries rising can tend to come off as a very energetic individual, whether that's channeled through an enthusiastic attitude and or always being active in some way. Being a fire sign usually gives an individual the same energy an actual flame would have, being bright, constantly moving, very bold, and very fast moving as well. Most likely this person will want to be very active. Maybe they're always on the go, career-wise, they're always out and about doing something, or they love physical activity like exercise and sports. Or perhaps they're even a homebody who just always has to be doing something engaging. Additionally, the same way that fire can be an all-consuming element, so can an Aries rising personality. Oftentimes it doesn't matter what obstacle or hill or anything might be in their path. When they're going after something they want, they are going to overtake that obstacle with no issues. They're going to consume it, take it over, disintegrate it the same way that fire would. Third, Aries rising is often the type of person who won't hesitate to take the lead in any situation. Again, Aries is the cardinal fire sign. Cardinal means that this sign has a natural leadership type ability to its personality, which plays a lot into how this rising sign showcases itself in the world. So an Aries rising is going to come off as a very sociable person who's very good at making friends. A lot of people will want to gravitate towards them, just like a flame. Again, you can use that metaphor for everything with Aries rising, but people will gravitate towards them. They'll have a very like warm, lively energy that a lot of people will probably want to be around. And this has a lot to do with their cardinal energy, so they can be good at bringing people together and, whether they realize it or not, usually leading those people as well. This is also what contributes to their natural competitiveness, whether they show it or not. For this rising sign, there's an inherent need to excel at whatever they do, or at least be better than anyone else at it. With this cardinal quality combined with being a fire sign ruled by Mars, this is what gives them their insane amount of drive and stamina to overcome and achieve whatever they set their mind and heart on. Fourth, like I mentioned, this individual often has an insane amount of willpower and courage to take action on whatever they feel pulled towards. Being symbolized by the ram is a representation of their immense courage, inner power, resilience, and also signifies new beginnings. Aries is the first sign of the zodiac year, meaning that they are the sign that represents new paths, trailblazing new ways of living. So they are known to be the pioneers of the zodiac. And so because of this, they have to have
So that's an interesting combination because our loved one has an Aries rising as a Pisces sun. So, that's kind of like an oxymoron, a mix and match with the first and the last being mixed. So it's almost as if they're able to process deep rooted imagination about their idea, but at the same time, they're the first to share it. Oh, check this out. Peep this. Look at what I just found. And that sounds like our loved one. That sounds like our loved one, man. They're always on the drop, always on the go, always surfing the wave, really pinpointed. So, very, very, accurate so far. We're going to continue on with a little bit. Let's get it.
a lot of resilience and a lot of courage to do the things that they want to do without outside influence affecting them. So in Aries rising, because the rising sign has so much to do with the way that we carry ourselves in the physical world and the purpose we might have in life, an Aries rising is going to be paving a lot of new paths for people, being very innovative. And in order to be an innovative person and trailblaze for everybody else in the zodiac, you need to have an insane amount of bravery, courage, willpower to your personality. And this is why the ram represents Aries. Not only that, but the ram is kind of an animal that can show aggression. And so when the Aries rising feels that they need to show aggression, they won't usually hesitate to do so. If you're enjoying this video...
All right, so we're going to go ahead and fast forward to the part where she mentions the celebrities. You know, just to get a feel of what the Aries rising people look like and who they are. All right, so to that. Let's get it.
Talk about some Aries rising celebrities and how they display some of the traits that an Aries rising has. First, we have Shakira. First and foremost, the way that she always carries herself is with the fun, lively, super magnetic energy that an Aries rising tends to have. She's usually very smiley, bubbly, full of energy, and just has a really fiery spark. And I hate to use fiery so many times, but that is just the perfect way to describe the way that she displays herself. She's also a very extremely active individual that comes off as a super free spirit, whether it's through her music or whether it's through just watching activities that she does outside of her music. She stays in very good shape. She's very active, and again, super full of energy. What I also found interesting is this quote that I came across on the internet that says, Shakira shared that she always knew she was going to be a public figure, saying that it felt like a premonition. In that same interview, she also said that she once had a premonition that she would give birth to 2 boys. And now she does have 2 sons. Aries placements often are quite in tune with themselves and their passions, not overthinking what they want or what they believe in. And so, like I mentioned earlier in the video, they can tend to actually be very in touch with their intuition because of that. And when we think of intuition, we think of the water signs most of the time, which is understandable. But Aries, again, being the first sign of the zodiac, having kind of impulsive behavior, but also extremely passionate and very true to themselves, they are very in touch most of the time with their instinctual nature and therefore their intuitive nature as well. So for Shakira to say that she just knew, first off, that she was going to be a public figure, that says a lot because that's a very Aries rising thing to say. But on top of that, she had this innate feeling that she was going to give birth to 2 boys as well. And I just thought that that was such a fascinating quote to find and definitely exemplified her Aries rising nature. Second, we have Big Sean. Before we talk about him a little bit more, I just need you to listen to this clip. This clip is super self-explanatory because it is about his story and the way that he started to set out on his journey to become a famous rapper. And it's just, this is not Aries rising. I don't know what is.
I ran into Kanye in Detroit when I was graduating high school, outside of a radio station. And I was doing this radio show every Friday night where I would go and battle MCs, and whoever would win the battle would get the rap on air. So I got my relationships up at the radio station. So when Kanye was there promoting his album on a Saturday morning, you know, I was able to finagle my way in there. I lied and said I left my phone there because I was there the night before. Got back in there, got a chance to rap for him, and that's how I got his attention. You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like a fairy tale story.
The number one thing that I take out of his story is that he just went for it. No questions asked. He just knew. He had this inner feeling, this intuitive feeling that he just had to go for it, and nothing could stop him. And the fact that he fabricated this whole like little white lie about needing to go grab his things and whatever just so he could be around Kanye is not only super courageous, that would be so nerve-wracking to do that. So it's not only super courageous, but he was persistent. He was like, Kanye, you have to listen to me. Listen to me. He was very persistent on it, and just like the ram, he took everything head on in that situation, unapologetically, without a second thought, without anything. And this is one of the situations where an Aries rising impulsive behavior is phenomenal and can do big beneficial things for the Aries rising individual. On top of that, he had an innate belief that he was just meant for greatness and that he would get there somehow. He never truly questioned himself. Yes, there were times where he was like, dang, everybody around me is like moving forward in life and I feel like I'm stagnant, but I cannot give up. And he didn't give up. He also has a very alpha male type energy to him. If you see any of his pictures, you hear the way he raps, the way he speaks. Even though he is a very calm person, you can also tell he's also just a very dominant type personality. And I don't mean that in an offensive way. I mean it in a complimentary way, 100%. Third, we have Rihanna, probably the most notorious Aries rising. People love talking about her Aries placements. First off, she clearly gives off a very bold, aggressive demeanor. Like when you look at her initially, you'd be like, oh, don't know if I want to mess with her. Probably won't ever mess with her. But it's like you also are gravitating towards her. You also want to pay attention to her. You want to talk to her. You want to see what she's doing. She's very motivational because she has a clear, assertive ambition about her in the things that she does. And she is known for doing whatever she wants and completely owning it, from the things that she wears to her business ventures to even her music. Or if you've seen her Instagram, she posts whatever she wants. She doesn't care if she gets backlash, and she just does whatever she pleases. And that's that free-spirited, ambitious, innovative, and pioneering energy that an Aries rising is known to have. One of her most recent famous contributions.
All right, we're going to go ahead and carry on to the next one. Aloha to all the Aries risings. Aloha to everybody surfing the wave. Let's continue on. Okay, next we have the moon in Aquarius, or Aquarius moons. Our loved one has their moon in Aquarius. I also have my moon in Aquarius. So shout out to everybody that has their moon in Aquarius. We're going to get a little preview of what that's like, what that vibe's like. And also pay attention to the way this brother go ahead and, creates his content, how he speaks. He happens to be a moon in Aquarius himself. And so it's definitely interesting when people have these placements and they can express exactly how they feel about it and who they are in comparison to someone just doing a generalization. I tried to find those who can speak on the placements because they are in those placements versus just someone that's randomly generalizing. And the first couple were random generalizations, pretty spot on, but there were generalizations. This one happens to be a specific, more personalized expression. So let's surf the wave.
What's poppin' YouTube, and welcome to my channel, Astro Finesse. It's your boy Lil Finesse, the Jiggy Hippie, back with another video for y'all. And in this video right here, we're gonna be talking about if you have an Aquarius moon. And this is my placement, so I didn't even have to do a lot of research. I'm just gonna go strictly based on my experience of being an Aquarius moon all my life. So pause for the cause. If you don't know what your moon sign is, if you don't know how important astrology is, direly, drastically important, I'm talking about you have to know about yourself through astrology. If you just started learning about this, like self-love, self-knowledge, there's a couple of videos in the description box that I'm going to drop that you have to watch first to become hip to the knowledge of what I'm about to talk about in this video. So now, if you look at your natal chart and you realize you're an Aquarius moon like me, first of all, what's poppin'? I fuck with you on an even deeper level because we got the same moon sign, so what's up? And this video's for you. So without further ado, let's just get it poppin', shall we? This video might be long, by the way, just because I'm just gonna let my mind just go with this topic. So just bear with me. Anyway, so y'all know how I start. I'm gonna give y'all a list of some celebrities of the Aquarius moon placement. So right now we got Marilyn Monroe, we got Eminem, Muhammad Ali, we got Billie Eilish. I think that's how you say her name. I don't really listen to her music, but I do see that she's like getting like more popular now, and I see that she's very weird, and I fuck with weird people, and I'll explain all that. Aquarius people like weird, different people, but she's very weird and shit, so that's why she's weird. We got Lil Wayne, and he's weird as hell too with his dressing nowadays. But Denzel Washington, we got Morgan Freeman, Trey Songz, Stephen Curry, Solange, that's like Beyonce's sister. We got Chance the Rapper, Larry Bird, and Arsenio Hall. If y'all know who that is, then that means you're a true 90s baby. So anyway, Aquarius moon, boom. So look, let me start off by talking about the mother. If you have an Aquarius moon, that means you had an Aquarius type mother. And being raised as an Aquarius moon, right? Your mother was probably the type that was not really like emotionally like invested in you, like emotionally. But she was very like logical and was straight up and gave you things that you needed. Didn't really supply you with like emotional support. And I'll give you an example. Let's say like when you're younger, you like riding on a bike and you fell and scraped your knee. You won't have the mother that'll be like, oh, it's okay, baby, and start kissing your boo boo and shit. Like you have the mother that'll be like, all right, just brush it off.
It's kind of crazy how he says kissing the boo boo and all of that, because I don't know, I kind of feel that I didn't necessarily require that attention to that degree, you know what I'm saying, to the point where I needed my mom to come and kiss my boo boo, so to speak. If I was even around my mom and fell, I do have memories of her coming to my aid or assisting me, being attentive if I fell around her. But for the most part, I was always off on my own, doing my own thing, you know, like as a real one. So I was ducked off, and you know, I just already had it in me. I'm out with the boys. You know, if I got hurt, I kind of wore that with a badge of pride, and, you know, brought myself home to get stitched up or whatever later. So, you know, I don't know if it's because my mom was like that, or, you know, I do know she was really logical in our interactions for sure. But I don't know. I just don't know if I necessarily required to be babied as an Aquarius moon. It's just something that I'm thinking of. Maybe it's different for you. Who knows? Shalom.
Get up, get up, smile, and keep moving. Like they'll tell you, or they like try to show you that to be independent, you have to be strong. You shouldn't be emotional. You have to be independent. You had a mother that wanted you to be independent growing up. They didn't really baby you and like give you emotional support like that, but really gave you like, be independent, be strong, be your own person, be yourself. So you had a mother that was very logical. Like you had a logical relationship with your mother. Like it wasn't emotional. It was like a logical, kind of like a detached relationship too. Like your mother was kind of detached from you emotionally too. So growing up with this and seeing how your mother was and seeing that she was very detached, she wasn't really emotionally expressive like that, you become emotionally detached from people. So I'm gonna talk about all that like in details too as the video goes on, about how we deal with our emotions and why we like ignore people and ghost people and all that. But I'll give y'all some good things about being Aquarius moon. Aquarius, and I talked about this in my Aquarius video. If you haven't watched it, go ahead and check it out. It's actually my most viewed video so far. And I'm not surprised, because Aquarius people love to learn and love to just grasp knowledge. Like what they're here for is to share information. So what they do with their free time is to, every single thing they do, wherever they go, who they talk to, any spare time they have, they like to grasp knowledge and like intake knowledge. So your purpose is to share your knowledge that you know. And I talk about this in my video, Aquarius video, but we're here to like be innovative, be inventive. We're very different, very weird, like very, very weird. And I like being called weird, honestly. People might think like it's a bad thing, but being weird is just being yourself and standing.
I think being from LA, we kind of traumatized with that term. Being from LA, man, you get called weird. It's not it's not the vibration, my nugget. That's not the frequency. So that's not something I'm gonna want to embrace. You know, maybe it's a regional thing, but I don't vibe with being called weird. I have been referred to as being different or unique, so in that regards, I guess I can see. But embracing the term weird, like straight up, it's just, I don't know. Maybe because it's regional for us, you know. It's a disrespect out here, though. That's funny.
Out and being true to who you are and not caring about the norms and not caring about what people think about you. So very different, innovative, very weird. We like being ourselves, but at the same time, we have so much knowledge inside of our mind that we just always feel the need to like share it, because we are humanitarians by nature. We love helping people in the broader prospect of people. We like helping people abroad. Like, we're not really good with one-on-one relationships, and I'll talk about that deeper as this video goes on, but we're here to help humanity. We're here to help like everybody at once, like the broad prospect of people. Because that's how we see things, that's how we see life. We see people like an eagle's vision, like when an eagle's flying over, they can see everything from below. That's how we like see people. That's how we see life. We see everybody, we treat everybody the same. We see everybody all together. Like, we see a whole picture. We see the broad prospect of everything, which is why we like, sharing knowledge with people and trying to change lives and helping people and all that. So yeah, you're here to share knowledge. So that's your purpose. So now, boom. We all got something to work on. You already know what time it is. Now I can't believe I'm about to like share this, because this is like my personal things I have to work on, that I'm currently working on. I'm making progress, but nobody's perfect. But the main thing with us, I'm gonna say us, because we're all on the same journey together. The main thing with us that we have to work on, because we are popping as hell, and I'll talk about that too. But we have this big problem with connecting with people emotionally, especially one-on-one. Like, because we were raised not really like emotionally like supported like that. We're raised to be logical, raised to be independent, raised to take care of ourselves, be individualistic, to be ourselves. Because we're raised like that, we're not really good at connecting with people. And something that we do that we have to stop doing, and make sure y'all pay attention, we have to stop doing this. Like, I do this and I hate when people like push me to the point of doing this. I really hate when this comes out. But it's just like, I don't know, it just happens. Like, we ghost people, or we cut people out of our lives with no explanation. Like, no explanation. We have
to... I don't know. I feel like this is an air sign kind of thing, man. Cause every time you come around, you be hollering that woo-dee-woo, blah-zay-blah, he say, she say, oh my gosh, shut the front door. Oh man, cause I'm gonna cut you off. I remember the first time I heard that joint, I was like, who is rapping like this, man? Who has the audacity to come out on the airwaves and say something so personal? You boo-boo, you tea, you turned down, you thirsty, you boo-boo. You know what I'm saying? Like, that right there, when I first heard that, I was like, nah, come on, man. Cause I'ma cut you off. I was like, yo, and that's when I realized, like, it's not just me, this is really a function. And, I do have my moon in Aquarius, but I also happen to be a Gemini. So I feel like, normally I'm pushed to that point. And honestly, it's like, I have this expectation, I have this expectancy that everyone needs to handle their business and be properly, picked up before presenting themselves, right? Before I deal with you, I'm expecting for you to be on your best, you know what I'm saying? On your P's and Q's, man. I shouldn't have to stitch you up or tweak you. Once I feel like that's what I need to do, and that you don't, if I can see that I need to tweak you and you don't need to tweak yourself, that's like a major red flag. And, if I don't care enough, I won't even tell you the reason. I just disappear, and that is a habit, something that I definitely need to work on, but it comes with good reason. It's almost like you kind of took me there and I don't really have the energy, nor do I have the want to come back and inform you on something I expected for you to be informed on as well. Again, we're talking about you. I expect, or I'm doing what I'm supposed to do to make myself presentable and to come presentable and, to be A1. So it's almost like that's the same thing that I expect out of someone before, going ahead and doing so. So that's interesting as we surf that wave. Let's continue and get a little bit more.
To stop cutting people out of our lives without telling them why we're doing that. I'm not saying we're supposed to get stuck in a situation and be like, damn, this is what it is, I'm stuck in it. But you want to make sure you tell them why, all right, this is why I'm about to be out. This is why this is not working for me. We just naturally just be like, all right, in our head, we're like, all right, this is not working. This is not what I thought it was, because we're kind of idealistic in relationships. And I'll talk about that too. So we're like, this is not working. This is not for me. So I'm out. And then we cut them off, or we ghost them, or we just ignore them with no explanation though. So we have to work on making sure we communicate to people and tell them why we're doing what we do. When is somebody like intimate with us, like relationships or like friendships like that. Now, being Aquarius moon, we're naturally unique as hell. We're very eccentric. We're very different. We stand out. Now, Leo is the opposite of Aquarius. So now Leo, look at Leo, how Leo's ruled by the sun. So they feel that everything revolves around them. So they get a lot of attention. Leos get a lot of attention for being themselves, for being, for just shining, basically. And now Aquarius gets attention for being different, for being innovative, for just being weird and different. So we both get a lot of attention. Leo gets attention from their energy, and Aquarius gets attention from their intellect and their mind. Aquarius moons, we are smart as fuck. Understand this, that we're made like this to receive information. We're made to just know things automatically. We're just very intelligent because all we do is just taking information. When I'm talking to somebody I never met before, all I'm doing is reading every single thing between the lines, what they're saying, their body language, how they're projecting themselves, their posture. Like I'm reading and like critiquing every single thing in that exact moment. We're always like taking in information. So we're really smart, really eccentric, really different. We like living life the way we want to. We like expressing ourselves the way we want to. We hate social norms. We hate being told what to do. Oh my goodness. Like when I'm at work and shit and like my managers, because that's their job. Their job as a manager is to tell you what to do. When they tell me what to do and shit, I'll be like, yo, I don't know. It's like we just hate being told what to do because we feel within ourselves that, first of all, we know how to live our life. We know how to do things. We know a lot. We just feel like we know a lot. That's how sometimes it could become ego. Our ego could be big. We think that we're know-it-alls and shit, that we got to work on that too. But we feel and we do know a lot. So we feel like we know a lot. So we hate being told what to do. I'm going to give y'all some advice too on like when it comes to working and shit. Like we're not supposed to work.
And it's pretty interesting that he's saying that. We're going to get a little bit more before we ride out from this presentation. But it's pretty interesting how he's saying that. So if this is vibing with you, if you can resonate with this, let us know down below. All right. We trying to figure out who's feeling this and, you know, if this is hitting. Ahad to the moon in Aquarius.
Working for people. We're supposed to like try and figure out a way to make money for ourselves. But I'll talk about all that later on. We're very broad-minded. We like to look at the bigger picture of everything. So we give great advice. Like if you're going through things, you need help about something, ask an Aquarius moon and they'll give you like straight up advice from a broad point of view. Like we don't really like, we're really open-minded, we're very broad-minded. Everything about us is like big and like new and like expansive. Like everything about it is just big and new and expansive, just different. So we're just very broad-minded. We don't judge people up front. Like we do judge people, like low-key, we judge people, but like we're really open to anybody and everybody. We love everybody as a humanity. So when there's weird people coming up to us, talking to us, anybody that comes up to us, talks to us, really enjoy the conversation. We like talking to people, we like getting to know people because we like studying people, studying humanity, studying how people interact. So we will never judge you for like whatever you tell us. If you went through some crazy things, told us some crazy shit, we're not going to be like, oh, that's so weird or you're so, like, we're not going to stay away like that. We're not going to judge you for who you are kind of thing up front.
All right. So that was pretty interesting. Shouts out to all of the Aquarius moons. We're going to continue to flow. So next on the chart we have for our loved one is their Mercury in Pisces. All right. So their Mercury is going to be in Pisces. And again, this is how they communicate and how they think and how they perceive information. All right. So, let's go ahead and figure out what's going on. Ahad.
To my YouTube, it's your girl Honey, and today's topic is going to be having Pisces and Mercury. To have Pisces and Mercury, you either need to be a Aquarius sun sign, a Pisces sun sign, or an Aries sun sign. Mercury.
That was dope. Just off the bat, how she was able to identify, right? She was able to pinpoint what sun sign you are based off your where your Mercury was placed. So I think that that's pretty dope because our loved one is a Pisces sun. So this is right on point.
Never gravitates too far away from the sun. It's either going to be the sign before Your actual sun sign was a sign after you. Mercury is the planet of communication. It's how you take in information, how intelligent you might be. So please have a look at your birth charts to see whether you have displacement, and see whether you can relate or not. Who knows? So what's it like having Mercury in Pisces? What are these people most likely to be like? Mercury and Pisces people are massive dreamers. Big dreamers. Whether it's sleep time dream or daytime dreaming, they like to dream. Like, they like to they're big wanderers, man. They just wander off into their imagination. It's huge. You know, you never quite know what's going on in their brain. Like, the best way, like, it's weird. Like, these people sleep on these people, all right? Like, I know a Pisces girl, a Mercury in Pisces female, who appears very ditzy and like, you know, just very, like, to everyone else it's like, wow, is she dumb? She's not stupid. These people are not stupid. They have a lot of stuff going on in their brain, and sometimes they can appear just very floaty and just not here on this earth, but trust and believe they're here, man. They're just very misunderstood by a lot of people because they have a lot of things going on in their brain. They're just 1 minute thinking about this, next minute it's about that. You know, it's just constant moving. Speaking to these people, they can ask a lot of questions. They're not nosy, but they look at everyone that they know as a teacher because they like learning, you know. They never know what kind of subject can stimulate them in the mind, and they love asking questions so they can learn more and more. So don't think someone's stupid because they have their Mercury in Pisces. They're just asking questions because they want to learn. They enjoy it, you know. And they can be a little bit forgetful at times, but that's because they have a lot of things going on in their brain, right? Let's not forget that. These people, in order for them to kind of stimulate, for these people to be stimulated, they need to have music. They need music. They need really good books to escape into. You know, they need to be creative with their hands in some type of way, you know, whether it's through drawing, sketching, painting, it could be anything, but these people need to have like their own space to be able to escape in something that stimulates their mind, because that's what keeps them going. It's music, you know. Sometimes some people can need to be around lots of people. Like a Libra person has to be around people in order to feel like they're escaping from their actual life, but a Mercury and Pisces person has to be on their own at times in order to escape from, you know, it's like a recharge almost. Like, you want to recharge your batteries before you.
It's crazy because we're always saying charge up. You know, I'm always encouraging to try to charge up because I definitely know what it means to recharge. And, you know, sometimes you got to be able to set to yourself. My Mercury happens to be in Gemini, so I can relate to a sense of, you know, having a little alone time to recuperate. Sometimes that's necessary. I'm a big advocate of that. Peace to the loved ones. Peace to everybody with their Mercury and Pisces. This is for our loved one.
You go back out into the real world, you know. They like to be on their own. Now, having displacement, these people are notorious for, you know, giving hugs, being really gentle. Like, I always know when I meet a Pisces person if they have Mercury in Pisces, right? Because they always have these beautiful dreamy eyes, and when they speak, they have a very soft spoken tone to their voice, just very, very gentle. And I always pick up that that person must have Mercury in Pisces. They're just too gentle with that shit. Like, if they had Mercury in Aries, they'd be loud as hell and, you know, a groggy voice and all that kind of shit. But a Mercury in Pisces person is very gentle, you know, and they have a very gentle approach towards people. Now, I think I mentioned dreams before, but Mercury in Pisces people have this psychic nature about them, and they may even explore this in their dreams. I've known of Pisces and Mercury people to have these lucid dreams. Lucid dreams, I think it's like a form of traveling in your dreams. I think lucid dreaming is when you're dreaming, but you're watching yourself sleep at that current moment, which is really weird. But I hear a lot of that happening, you know, with Pisces and Mercury people. So, you know, that's very interesting because I can't do that shit. Now, these people, Mercury and Pisces people, can be notorious for mentioning a lot of sad, you know, depressive kind of things. I'm not saying they have a sad or depressed energy at all, but they can be very negative at the wrong times, you know, and they tend to reminisce into the past a lot, and, you know, constantly bring up old things that don't matter anymore. They like to bring up stuff like that. So yeah, that is my video on Mercury in Pisces. I hope you guys have enjoyed.
Hey, hug to that. You know, she did her thing. She held it down. Let us know down below if it resonates with you. And then again, a hug to everybody with the Mercury and Pisces placements. On to the next. So again, we're getting ready to get into Aquarius Venus, or Venus in Aquarius. So shout out to everyone who has Venus in Aquarius, or their Aquarius and Venus. To everyone surfing that wave and to this energy center, our loved one has this placement in their chart. So we're going to go ahead and take a dive into this. And I just want you to pay attention again how this person goes ahead and expresses themselves, because they themselves are in this placement. And we're going to get a feminine or a masculine perspective aspect, and then we're going to get a feminine aspect. All right. And you know, if you don't already know, this ain't for the little ones. This kind of topic, although it can be interesting, this is just, you know, for the mature audiences. So with that said, you know, yeah, man, I hope you already know at this point, continuing forward, what's going on. Hey,
What's poppin', YouTube? Welcome to my channel, Astro Finesse. It's your boy, Lil Finesse, the Jiggy Hippie, back with another video for y'all. And this video right here is if you have a Venus in Aquarius. And I'll pause for the cause. If you don't know what your Venus sign is, if you're just starting off your journey of self-love, self-knowledge, if you don't understand that you have to know yourself through astrology and numerology, don't worry, I got you. There's a couple of videos. I put the link in the description. You're going to have to watch them first to become hip to the knowledge of what I'm about to talk about right now. So if you look to your birth chart and you realize you're a Venus in Aquarius, first of all, what's popping? I fuck with you on an even deeper level because we have the same Venus placement. But this video is for you. So without further ado, let's just get it popping, shall we? Now, before I start, I'm going to give y'all a list of some celebrities so y'all can visually see what Venus and Aquarius people look like and act like in reality. So to start, we got Taylor Swift, Oprah Winfrey, Ellen DeGeneres, Muhammad Ali, Jessica Biel, LeBron James, Jeff Bezos, Sade, Dr. Dre, Kelly Rowland, Bow Wow, Chris Rock, and Vanessa Williams. All right, so boom, Venus and Aquarius. First of all, Venus is a placement of, you know, love, beauty, harmony. Is also a placement of luxury. So it tells you like how you spend your money, how you generate money, what you find value in when it comes to things that you're attracted to. And for women, the Venus placement will tell you your love language. It will tell you how you act like when you're in love. For men, the Venus placement will tell you what you're attracted to, what you look for in a partner when it comes to love. For women, the Mars placement will tell you what you look for, what you're attracted to in a partner. And for men, the Mars placement will tell you how you act like when you're in love, your love language. And now, all right, so let's get into it. Also, if you have your sun sign is going to be only 2 placements away from your Venus sign. So if you have a Venus in Aquarius, you have a sun sign either going to be Pisces or Aries or Capricorn or Sagittarius. All right, boom, yo. This video is going to be a little hard for me because like this is my placement and all that. So I'm like literally sitting here exposing myself in front of all y'all. So understand that I don't want to do this, but I have to for the betterment of the purpose, for the betterment of humanity. So here we go. So Venus in Aquarius. All right, so we have a lot of bad reps when it comes to love. Understandably so, we do. All right, so the reason why it's kind of hard for us when it comes to love, first of all, Aquarius energy in general is a very detached energy. We hear this word all the time, very detached. But the reason why it's detached is because we're not good with our emotions. All right. So when it comes to love is the ultimate emotion, ultimate feelings. Like you can't control your emotion. You can't control the feeling you have for somebody when you love them. So when it comes to love, we have a hard time in this area because we're just not good with like dealing with emotions and all that. We're not good with like things that are not logical or mathematic or scientific or practical because our mind is like a computer. So computers don't have emotion. They just like calculate data and all that. So when it comes to love, it's a little more difficult for us. Because of this, we have a tendency to be very detached from this, like from love in general. So we look like we're detached from love, like we don't need it, like we're just cool by ourselves, we're just loners and all that. Even though that we do crave having a partner. And I'm going to discuss in this video what you have to do in order to attract us, what you have to not do in order to keep us from ghosting y'all, because we definitely have this thing that we ghost people, and that's also going into because we don't know how to like we don't know how to deal with emotions, how to express ourselves emotionally like other people. We're all about intellectual conversations. We're all about the intellect. We're really like huge nerds in a way. We're just like people or things that can like advance our mind and really smart like that. We're all about the mind and being smart and information and learning and also friendships. And friendships is big because friendships does not have that emotional intensity on top of it. It's like, you're my friend. I accept you for who you are. You accept me for who I am. I have your back. You have my back. There's no expectations as in like I have to text you all day. I got to see what's going on. It's like we're friends. Like we have a connection. I got your back. You got my back. There's no emotional intensity when it comes to friendships. So that's why before we get into relationships, one of the most important thing is you have to become our friend first. Like you have to make us feel comfortable expressing our emotion to you. And this is very hard because like I said, we all have this thing where we put a wall up. We make it look like we don't care. We make it look like we're just detached. We're not thinking about you. We make it look like we're just like being by ourselves. We make it look like all these things because we just don't know how to. We're not comfortable being in an emotional environment or being emotional. So your job in order to attract us, in order to keep us in a relationship, the beginning stages, you have to be our friend. So ask us what we like, ask us our interests, just have like a genuine interest about our person. Like don't, and like if you're trying to attract a Venus and Aquarius women, first conversation, don't ever like compliment her on what she looks like. Like I'm not gonna say don't compliment her, but don't talk about her in a sexual way about what they look like off of first impression. Like that is a turnoff. We don't like people that like us for the wrong reasons, that are attracted to us for the wrong reasons. Like if they're attracted to us just because how we look, we don't want to give our attention or our energy to that person. If they're attracted to us because of our mind, what we say, how smart we are, those are the kind of compliments you want to give a Venus and Aquarius person. Talk about how different they are. Talk about how like eccentric, how we can even call us weird. Like how talk about how different we are, how smart we are, and that is what will give us like, oh damn, like this person, I actually might like want to build something with this person. If you talk about how we look and how sexy she is on first impression, that is gonna shut them off because that energy is low key emotional intensity that's like not necessary in the beginning stages. So boom, first step, become our friend first. We take friendships extremely seriously. We take friendships because Aquarius is the 11th sign, the 11th house is a house of communication, friendship. We're all about connecting. A lot of us have like a lot of friends, especially online. We're just like, we just love people and humanity as a whole. We're like humanitarians. So we love people and humanity as a whole. We look at every single person the same. Like we look at, I'm a human, you're human. I have red blood, you have red blood. We look at everybody in humanity as a whole as the same. So in turn, we treat everybody the same. We talk to everybody the same. So when you want to like have a special title, if you want to like become a little closer to us, you have to break that barrier of becoming our friend first. Now I talked about this in my Aquarius, I think it was Aquarius Rising video, that we are like a block of ice when we first meet us, like cold as hell, detached as hell. You probably don't even think that we notice you, that we're looking at you, that we care about you. We're a cold, hard block of ice when you first meet us, like cold as hell, we don't care. You have to be the type of person that interests us by you also being smart, you also being different and eccentric. We are so attracted to people that are different and eccentric. Like that, when you like walk in a room and you see somebody that is completely different looking, completely like eccentric, individualistic, that is what catches our eyes and catches our interest. But we're still going to be that cold block of ice. So your job is to try and break the ice or try to melt the ice. Because when we melt, we become like water and then emotions come out. And then we can open up to you. And then we feel comfortable. And then we can like build a relationship with y'all. But the ice is cold as hell at first. So to break it, to melt it, come and start off by becoming a friend of ours first. So extremely important. I'm stressing that again. Become our friend first. Now, another thing.
All right. So I guess for this placement, they want to be friends first. So this is coming from the masculine. Now let's switch over to the feminine and see if this is spot on. You know, shouts out to everybody with their Venus and Aquarius. We're going to continue on for y'all. Hey, all right. So we're going to get the feminine version, the feminine aspect of this Venus and Aquarius. And, you know, we're going to see if this is a flow or not. Special ahab to our loved one, man. Let's continue.
To the video. I'm just gonna tell you straight off the bat, this is how I feel. I'm out and a guy comes up to me. He could be the most attractive guy I've ever seen in my whole entire life, or girl. And if he looks at me and tells me something sexually, I instantly get turned off. If he makes a comment on my body or on my appearance, I get turned off. I make a mental note or never.
So she basically opened up where the masculine ended. You know what I'm saying? Him basically saying the same thing as she, and she saying the same thing as him. They both having Venus in their Aquarius. So this must be something they definitely feel. Hey, hop to that. And this is also why I like hearing from those who have their placement in the typical, in that specific sign that they're speaking on. All right, but let's get it back. Hey,
I instantly get turned off. If he makes a comment on my body or on my appearance, I get turned off. I make a mental note or never to pursue anything with them. And whereas appearance is important, it feels kind of like a slap in the face to my intellectual side. Hi, Venus and Aquarius. When someone comments on my appearance when they first meet me instead of getting to know me. I don't just feel like a slap in the face to them because they feel like there's so much more beyond their appearance, you know. And I know you guys are probably thinking, wait, how do we get to know you? You have a wall up, you have a shell, you won't talk to us. I'm about to get there, just hold on, okay? The people who end up staying in my life and I end up wanting to get to know and open up to are the people who make an effort to get to know me on a more intellectual level, on a more personal level beyond my appearance. So what you want to do is you want to ask them about what they're studying or what their job is or what's their favorite hobby. You know, make a little effort to get to know them. You need to develop a friendship with an Aquarius before you can ever even break the surface of a relationship. Aquarius Venuses probably never go on dates. They go on hangout adventures with their friends that they secretly like. They're thinking in their mind the whole time that I really like this person, but they're my best friend. And that's exactly where you want to be. For an Aquarius to fall in love with you, Aquarius Venus to fall in love with you, you need to be the best friend. We find love scary. Why? Because we don't know how to deal with our emotions, and we feel very attacked when someone confronts us directly on their emotions because we're not sure how to handle that. As Venus and Aquarius, when it comes to my emotions and when it comes to relationships and stuff like that, I see things for what it is as it's going on. I analyze it. I say, oh, okay, cool. This is happening. Wow, I feel really shitty right now. I don't know why I feel like this about this relationship, about this situation, but okay, whatever. I can't process it. I can't give you a response. I can't give you anything in that moment. You can't ever put an Aquarius on spot and ask for answers if they haven't had time to think about the situation beforehand. So when the Aquarius is alone and after they've came back from your adventure, hangout, your road trip, whatever friendly activity that you want to do with them, then they'll start to think about how they feel about you. They'll start to think, wow, I really liked when they did that thing on the boat, or like, wow, I really liked the way they were dancing. That's really cool. And slowly but surely we'll develop a relationship, an idea in our head about how we feel about you, and then we'll decide that we like you and we want to be with you. And then this is where you're golden, because what Aquarius will do, or how to get a Venus in Aquarius, is you have to trick us into thinking that it's our idea to like you. We don't like when someone tries to make us like them. High independent in relationships, high Aquarius trait, high Venus in Aquarius. You have to trick us into thinking that it's our idea that we want to sleep with you. It's our idea that we want to be in a relationship with you. It's our idea that we want to see you, and then let us make the first move. You kind of gotta mind trick us, but you have to be smart enough to do it in a way that we won't catch on, you know. Or just very genuine about your intentions with us, because if we figure out that you're trying to play games with us to like make us think a certain type of way, all hell will break loose. But that's exactly what you need to do. Want to go grocery shopping with me? Like, you have to give us little things that sound innocent. You know, we want to sound innocent. We want to fall in love. We don't want love to be you know, just happening for us. We want it to slowly but surely build up and develop, because we don't feel safe to expose ourselves to strangers. We don't feel safe to tell our most intimate details and tell how we really feel about love and, you know, our deep feelings to a stranger. We feel like our friends will never hurt us. Our friends will never break our heart because they know so much about us. They developed a relationship with us. They're our friend, and our friends will never break our hearts. So for us to feel safe around you, you need to open up to us first. You need to let us into your deep little dark web of your life, and then we'll feel comfortable exposing our dark little secrets to you. You kind of just...
Interesting. We're talking about that dark. And she's saying the same thing the bro was saying in the other one. You know what I'm saying? She's saying the same thing. So let's get a little bit more, and then we're going to go ahead and carry on to the next one. Hey, and let us know, too, if this is resonating with you. Let us know down below.
Just let it happen, you know. Any forcing of anything will cause immediate rebellion from the Venus and Aquarius. It'll cause us to disappear, us to not want to be around you at all, because we won't feel like it's safe. You know, we're very much afraid of our independence and our freedom and like our inner side, who we really are, being ripped and taken away from us. So we have this wall up, we have this guard up, because we know that you humans are dangerous, and we will only tell our deeper sides to us, to our friends, our human friends. Love like out of this world type stuff. That's the perfect way to say it. We love things that are out of this world, things that, you know, people would never think of. We are very corny and like very interested in stuff that's beyond this world, you know. We love in In space. That's a good thing. We love in space. You know, a lot of people say like Aquariuses are like, you know, the aliens of the zodiac. We love in space. We need our space to love you, you know? Absence definitely makes the heart grow fonder. Venuses and Aquariuses are very loyal because we don't have the emotional capacity to know what it feels like to love more than one person at a time. If we're with you, we have our heart for you. We might have a hard time explaining it, but we'll definitely try to show you by showing up, by answering your texts. You know, if a Venus in Aquarius doesn't like you, we just simply won't respond. We won't put in any time or energy and effort to you because we feel no need to. You know, I have a lot of friends who, you know, they'll be like, oh, this guy is bothering me. He wants to be with me. He wants to talk to me so much. He keeps texting me. And my Venus in Aquarius' ass is like, block him. Like, just stop texting him back. Like, whatever. And then, like, they're like, no.
There goes that ghosting. You know what I'm saying? So if you're resonating with this, go ahead and, you know, tag along for the rest of it. We're going to continue on those Shabbat because we got a lot more to get into. So, aha to that. On to the next, and much aha to those with Venus in Aquarius. So next up we have Geminis and Mars. Alright, so our loved one has their Gemini and Mars. We're gonna go ahead and take a quick, you know, snap into this and see what we can get.
Mars in Gemini. I don't know why I started it like that. It's actually like an amazing placement. Hola my beautiful lotus flowers, welcome back or welcome to my channel. If you're into nerding out on everything astrology, spirituality, and self-transformation, this is the community for you. Today we're talking all about having Mars in Gemini. This is not the same as having Sun sign in Gemini. That is completely different. What this means is that at the time that you were born, Mars was moving through the constellation of Gemini. We're going to start the video by having an introduction to Mars in case you're not sure what the energy of Mars entails in astrology. Then we'll go on to talk about some of the general traits of somebody with this placement, and we'll finish off the video with a couple empowering tips because I do not like to just leave you with the information. I like to leave you with some advice for your specific placement so you know how to put it into action, because I believe in using astrology positively for self-improvement. I don't know about you, but that's how we work over here, okay? Okay. First, let's briefly discuss what Mars means in astrology. First off, Mars is the planet of our quote-unquote animalistic instincts, action, ambition, desire, and passion. It rules over the zodiac sign Aries, but it's also the co-ruler and traditional ruler of Scorpio before Pluto came into the picture. The Mars placement in our birth chart can give us insight on how we physically take action in the world, what ignites our inner fire, and how we tame or transmute that fire into reality. Whereas Venus is about what we are attracted to in the physical realm, Mars is more so how we actually act on, pursue, and express those desires. It is the primary conductor of our innermost passions, and it gives us a direct pathway on how we assert ourselves in the world. Remember to check if Mars was retrograde at the time that you were born, because this also affects how its placement manifests in your life. When you pull up your natal chart, check to see if your Mars has a little R or RX next to it. This indicates that that planet was retrograde at the time of your birth. Now for the general traits of somebody who has Mars in Gemini. First, it's important to remember that Gemini is the mutable air sign ruled by Mercury, symbolized by the twins. Number 1, constant activity of the mind and exercising the brain is what fuels these individuals most. Mercury is the planetary ruler of Gemini. So considering the fact that Mercury is the planet of communication and our mental process, placing Mars here places huge emphasis on actively using the mind in some way that challenges the brain and expands this person's knowledge. Oftentimes, a lot of us forget that the brain is actually its own muscle that needs exercise like the rest of the body. So with this placement, this fact is even more important than ever. Obviously, all of us should be exercising our brain and challenging it every day. But with this placement, they need this. Like, They have no other choice. They have to exercise the brain. Mars is a very physical planet that really relates to the physical activity of our body and how we carry things out physically and how we act on things, how we assert ourselves in the world, etc. This person, they really assert themselves through the mind. So using the mind and activating the mind is extremely important for this person to not only be happy, but to live a fulfilling life, to also feel productive.
And as a Gemini, as a sun in Gemini, I can, relate to this because I need constant stimulation. I'm constantly on the go, constantly trying to learn, constantly intaking information, constantly trying to keep busy, man, staying active mentally, spiritually, mentally. So I definitely feel this and I resonate with this 1,000.
And so on and so forth. If you have this placement or you know someone who does, you've probably seen what I'm talking about in action. A lot of times this person definitely exemplifies a restlessness or like they can't seem to focus. Focus isn't the right word, but they do tend to dart quickly from topic to topic, task to task, and they actually do it well. Like, it's impressive, but it's because they have the mental capacity to do so, and it actually makes them happy to be so preoccupied, to have their minds so preoccupied all the time. But it's definitely not something that all of us can understand if we don't have the placement.
It's so easy to get your windshield replaced using Thyself. Tell the people why you haven't done it. It started off as a chip and it just keeps going.
Number 2, having a daily agenda full of various activities, new tasks, events, etc. actually energizes these individuals, making versatility a strong suit of theirs. As mentioned in the previous trait, they probably have a hard time focusing on just one thing, and this can make them quite the busybody. The fact that Gemini is a mutable sign only enhances this because the mutable signs are known for being impressively adaptable, yet easily distracted and not sure where to place their focus. So with this placement, this versatility can make them an absolute boss. The type of person who can schedule a full agenda and have the mental capacity to actually stick to it because they thrive on this level of activity. It does not exhaust them like it would a lot of other people. They often see it as a welcome physical challenge and mental challenge because these individuals love strategizing, planning, organizing, and it can really bring about a strong entrepreneurial spirit in these individuals. The challenge when it comes to this trait might just be what exactly they're filling their agenda with. Are they filling it with things that are actually productive and moving them forward with whatever they want to do or whatever makes them fulfilled? Or are they just filling their schedule with busy tasks that don't really get them anywhere? Is it just distracted busy work that doesn't actually have any true intention behind it? This can be one of the ways that this placement needs to dive deeper, because some may keep themselves busy with superficial tasks and events and whatnot. But when this trait is channeled in its most powerful way, in its most productive way, then this person can be so successful and achieve whatever they want. It's actually incredible the capacity that they have to be successful, professional, career, and all.
Hey, how to that? We're gonna go ahead and catch the next example. In this version, we're gonna get from the masculine, and we're gonna see how this build goes. So, Ahab to you. Let's continue to surf the wave. Alright, so here we're going to get some more Mars and Gemini from the masculine for all of those that have their Mars and Gemini. And we're going to see how this bro builds. Let's get it.
Listening to the Divine Eminentary's Moon. I'm the Archangel Uriel. I'm here to carry out God's duties and motherfucking responsibilities. And we're in the motherfucking Mars series. And right now we're going to get into Mars and Gemini. Now here's Mars and Gemini. Now what is Mars? Mars is your intentions, your willpower, your passions. It carry out like the same way Archangel Uriel carry out God's duties and responsibilities. Mars is here, it carry out the sun's duties and responsibilities. You know what I'm saying? It's the older brother, or it could be the uncle in some sense. When we're talking about a planetary family, which is the sun is the father, the moon is the mother, the daughter, the first son is Mercury, the first daughter is Venus. Not the first son is Mars, the baby son is Mercury. The youngest daughter is Venus. The grandmother, Neptune. The grandfather, Uranus. You know what I'm saying? Well, the grandfather is Jupiter, but the great-grandfather, or it could be like the great-uncle or something.
The way he broke that down was pretty sick, though, you know? The son being, and the dad, the mom, and all that, as far as the moon, the way he broke that down was pretty sick. You know? That was pretty dope. A-hop to that.
Brother, or it could be the uncle in some sense. When we're talking about a planetary family, which is the sun is the father, the moon is the mother, the daughter, the first son is Mercury, the first daughter is Venus. Not the first son is Mars, the baby son is Mercury. The youngest daughter is Venus. The grandmother, Neptune. The grandfather, Uranus. You know what I'm saying? Well, the grandfather is Jupiter, but the great-grandfather, or it could be like the great-uncle or something like that, great cousin or something like that. Your brain changes. You know what I'm saying? You always got them, them crack-headed uncles. You know what I'm saying? Them crack-headed uncles. That's Uranus. You know what I'm saying? They come in your house, bring changes, bring a lot of changes, a lot of drama, a lot of conflict going, a lot of shit going. That's Uranus right there. Then you got motherfucking Pluto. That's the great ancestor. That's the ancestor right there. That's the generational. That's your generation. That's your generational lineage. That's your family lineage right there. So wherever your Pluto at, that's your family lineage right there. That's who been here 72 years ago. Now, when we talk about Mars and Gemini. Now, Mars, that's your intentions. So this is anytime your intentions come with willpower and passion. So that comes with it's action orientated. So the sun represents your actions, but how you carry out your actions is through your Mars, your intentions. So when we got Gemini right here, what's Gemini? Gemini is the communication sign. Gemini is the analytical sign. Gemini is ruled by Mercury. Gemini is the speedy sign. They fast paced. So they fast paced, but within the mind, because they ruled by Gemini. So they got fast thoughts.
And with him saying that, it reminds me of sort of like the Flash, right? The speed of the Flash. Normally that and Quicksilver. Well, I guess both versions of Quicksilver actually. Fantastic Four and from X-Men, if I think about it. And you know, I for some reason, just by mentioning Quicksilver, I can hear the bro drop going off right now. You know what I'm saying? With the Quicksilver and the Mercury and all this talk. But keep in mind, Quicksilver based off the speed, you know, the Marvel character, the son of Magneto, dealing with the energies and the influences of Gemini, right? That speed. So same thing with the Flash. Flash would represent that same fast pace, in a sense. So it's pretty interesting when we're talking about these different attributes and how the signs actually has powers and characteristics and the need to express themselves in such a form. Hey, how to that?
They fast paced. So they fast paced, but within the mind, because they ruled by Gemini. So they got fast thoughts. So they can think about this and that. So when you try to present something that's kind of like simple-minded to them, they want to look at every aspect of what you presenting to them before they come to the conclusion of what you presenting to them is actually right. So when you got that, and then you got Mars when you got Mars, your intentions and your actions, when you put that in the sign of air, which is air and is mutable right here, it speeds up Mars. Now, sometimes it plays out like this. It doesn't slow Mars down enough to have a passion for one particular thing because it's too busy trying to learn so many things. It's like a jack of all trades, but it doesn't slow down to perfect one thing. So it never learned anything. So it learned about a whole bunch of shit, but doesn't actually learn the specifics and the specifics details of a bunch of shit. Now this is how Mars plays out. Geminis and Mercury's is good at that. But with Mars and Gemini, it's different. You know what I'm saying? This is how it plays out here. It doesn't slow down because when it's in air, you know what I'm saying? Air, what's air? You can't contain air, and air doesn't like pressure. So when you try to contain air in a jar, it's going to escape one way or another sooner or later. It doesn't like too much pressure. So it's going to escape. So Mars passion is part of pressure. Like a lot of the P words itself align with each other. All the A words, L words, like Leos, Libras, they're associated with lying, but they're associated with loving. They're associated with like Cancers, they're associated with caring. You know what I'm saying? Aries, Aquariuses, they're associated with air, but not air as far as air signs, but as far as aviation. Like as far as abstract thinking, you know what I'm saying? But this goes down with the S word, Scorpios, Sagittarius. They deals with serpent energy, snake energy. So you got a lot of two-faced Sagittarius, and you got a lot of serpent like Scorpios who manipulate people. You know what I'm saying? But that's another video. I'm gonna work on another video with the words and the sigils and shit. But as far as Mars and motherfucking Gemini, your motherfucking intentions is speeded up. So your intentions, people might not even know your intentions sometimes. So these are people, bank robbers. These are people, these are cheaters. These are people who, these are definitely people, they kill you. But these are people who may not even have evidence for you to find. These are people who have no more IDs. They have no more, it's like they have no life to the point that they could be here and there to the point it's hard to get a hold of them. You know what I'm saying? So if it's a Mars and Gemini person that's added with all their other planets with a bunch of other air, these people are going to be like, they don't know if they're coming and going, and you ain't going to know if they're coming and going. So they're going to be here and there. You know what I'm saying? These people play out as thieves. You know what I'm saying? Things that might end up in their hands, they may believe is theirs. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got, so it's like, it's in with the wind. They steal from stores. They steal from everywhere. You know what I'm saying? Because they here with the wind. It's like going with the wind. You ever had something?
It's crazy the different contrast, right? In the video before this, the woman was giving, you know, all the positive traits and how successful Mars and Geminis can be, and this guy is basically saying they're professional thieves. It's crazy how it changes over the spectrum, which is why I like to get different points of view, different aspects.
You ever dropped a penny or dropped some change and you look down and you seen exactly where it fell. You just seen exactly where it fell, but when you look there, it ain't there no more. It's somewhere way out somewhere else and shit like that. That's how it is with the motherfucking air right here, with the Mars and Gemini right here. So now when we talk about passion, they may not have enough passion. They may be so fast that they may not set their passion down on one thing, but the way their passion come, when they do cling on to something that they're interested in, they learn everything about it fast. Real fast, and they can tell you about it. Like, you would think you telling them something that you think nobody else know, but they already may know about that because they fast with knowledge. You know what I'm saying? They fast with knowledge, and it speeds the air up. You know what I'm saying? So they, and then they have a path. Their intentions is to communicate. That's their intentions. You know what I'm saying? Like Gemini sun signs, sometimes it may the communication may go introverted to the point that they communicate with themselves. The moon sign, sometimes they may feel the need that they have to communicate with everybody. The rising sometimes may appear that the personality is to be talkative. You know what I'm saying? When it comes into the Mercury, the Gemini plays analytical, it plays out details. It wants to read everything at one time. When it comes to Venus, it likes to love duality. It likes to love the pleasure of two things. It doesn't like to be in one spot because it may feel like it's missing out on something. So it likes to do both things. Now, when it plays out in the Mars, it has a passion. It has its intentions and passion is to communicate. So if it's not communicating, it's not building. So it can communicate about anything. The only problem here is it has to slow down. It has to slow Mars down enough to find something to stick with in order to be able to communicate it efficiently. You know what I'm saying? Efficiently, to the point that you're not just telling people that that you know about something, but you can actually go into detail. You know what I'm saying? And that's the only problem with the Gemini and Mars and the Gemini and Mercury's. The Gemini and Mercury may be able to go into detail. The Gemini and Mars just may be able to tell you that they're aware of.
As you know, my Mercury's in Gemini, so I can completely pick up on what he's saying as far as the detail. I do have a knack for detail. I like to zero in and pay attention. Let us know below if this is accurate and resonating for you as far as your Mars being in Gemini if that's how it is.
Was the subject. But if they're very interested in the subject that they're talking about, then their passion and intentions go deep, and they're able to figure out all kind of abstract thoughts of the subject that they're talking about. Whether it's relationships, whether it's cars, whether it's how to get a job, whether it's fashion. Yeah, and another thing about fashion, Mars and Gemini people with fashion, they like to wear. These are people who like basketball players. You might see that wear one shoe color. Say they wear American state colors. They wear blue, red, and white. They might get get some Nike Dunks. They might wear one royal blue Nike Dunk and wear the other one red Nike Dunk. You know what I'm saying? These are people like that. They don't like to leave two out, especially if it match, but it don't match, but it match. You get it? You know what I'm saying? Like me, I would just wear. I'm a Venus in Gemini, so it's more of my love and my feeling of how I appreciate. But with Mars in Gemini, that'll be your intentions and your passion. So your intentions will be still carrying out sort of like actions lightweight. So you will show actions in sort of ways of duality type things. You know what I'm saying? Me, I don't feel the necessary need to do that. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, for the most part, this is Mars and Gemini people. They have their intentions is to communicate what they've learned. And the different aspects of what they learn. Now they might not necessarily want to be dictated on what it actually mean what they've learned, but they just think all knowledge is good knowledge, and having knowledge. These people can be teachers. Mars and Gemini people can be teachers. Mars and Gemini people can be mechanics. Because Gemini also rules the hands in so many ways. You know what I'm saying? Coming from the lungs and the two. You ain't got one, you got two. So when it comes anything that's duality, kind of like Gemini kind of rules. But it gets with your hands is like the most lowest form on the pyramid of way that you can manifest from the behind the scenes and to the in front of the scenes. So would you say, look, like for an example, what I'm thinking about. You don't know what I'm thinking until I say what I'm thinking. Now look, I'm about to say what I'm thinking. I want to pick up this hard drive. Now I'm picking up the hard drive. Now with these hands was the smallest form on the pyramid of bringing from the yin to the yang. I manifested me picking up my thought, you know what I'm saying, what I wanted to do, picking up the hard drive. Now on a large scale, on the highest pyramid, when we go all the way up to that one block, where all the other lower pyramids or blocks come from, there's a different form of that. You know what I'm saying? That's a whole nother video. You know what I'm saying? But we just talking about lower forms right now. When we talk about zodiacs and animalistic, look, zodiac signs, zodiac, animalistic traits, animal, lower chakra. So you can't even go when we talking about astrology and shit. You think that's higher consciousness, but it really ain't. And we're gonna get into that too. That's a whole nother.
And my man is spitting bars, man. He got nothing but bars. High level energy and spitting bars, pure facts. You know, A-ha to that, man. We're going to carry on. A-ha to all the Mars and Gemini with that placement. This is for our loved one. Peace, peace. Just want to say that, just in case if my memory maxes out and I can no longer continue, I will leave everything in the description, like I said I would, as far as what I was going to dive into to express, and just follow the links according to the order that they're in. They would definitely be in order according to your chart. All right, so A-hop to that. We're gonna jump into Jupiter in Pisces because our loved one has their Jupiter in Pisces, and we're gonna see what this vibe is like. A-hop to the real ones.
Up y'all's crew, also known as the Rainy Storm, checking in for the Jupiter sign series, Jupiter and Pisces to be exact. I am your cosmic root work astrologist specializing in Mars activations as well as North Node and South Node consultations. So if you would like to book a personal reading with me, you can hit me up at rainystorm.wix.com/info, and you can find me on all social media at rainystorm. All that information will be below. Before we get started, you already know these are the things as we get into the updates. All right, we have all the Mars activations from the Scorpio new moon into the Capricorn full moon that are available. Once again, those links will be below. We also have the tapestry on deck. If you would like your birth chart, your personal chart, your galactic signature, and this isn't the finished product, but by the time you get to this video, it will be on the website, so don't even trip. This tapestry will be available on deck, and it comes with a free mini reading. And then we're also gonna have the papyrus paper. I will be doing a commercial about that. Yes, Papa. You trying to go inside? Give me a second. Kayla, just give me. Oh goodness. Give me a second, y'all. Let me see my naked butt. Don't be looking at my booty, alright?
It's dope. This looks like maybe this is her chart right here in the background. Very in tune. So you see people who are in tune with this kind of, take it everywhere with them. It's like a manifestation of, their inner thought, their inner belief. It's just great to see. Let's continue to surf the wave.
Hold on, y'all. My bad. Okay. Sorry, yeah. Okay. Papyrus paper tapestry.